Right, boys, so I've been really pissed off online looking at all of these trading boot camp series. They're just literally, you start them and then by the end of it, you're just incredibly more confused. Like I started with TJR Bootcamp, and when I first started, I was like, oh my God, TJR's the GOAT. He's fucking teaching me all of this stuff in such an easy manner. But once I finished TJR Bootcamp, there was no clear strategy at the end. There was no clear method to the madness. I'd learned all these concepts and I felt like almost just like a little fish in the sea. And I'm like, bruv, where do I go get my munch? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was actually just too much for me. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making an actual boot camp, a real boot camp that actually gives you everything you need and isn't going to leave you more confused. Because look, if I had this boot camp when I first started trading, I probably would have skipped like a year or 2 years of torture, pain. So what I'm going to be teaching you boys is, first, for the complete beginners around here, this video is going to be going over what trading actually is and what like a fucking chart is, like stuff like that, like the super basics. So that's what this video is going to be covering. But I'm going to be saying about what we're covering. I'm going to be getting a little bit more in depth towards the end of the video. So this video is going to be covering the basics, but then what we're going to do is we're going to go through in the next video, we're going to go through all the confluences that I personally use to trade the fully mechanical trading system that I and a lot of other people run, that has made a lot of people profitable. And we're going to be breaking down that. So we're going to go through confluences, strategy, alerts, entries, execution platforms. We're going to go through all of this. This is all down the line, so you don't need to worry about this now. But the first thing we're going to go through is what the fuck even is trading. So realistically, all trading is betting on a price going up or down. And how on earth do people make money? So certain people have an edge over other people in the market due to the certain way that they enter the market. And this sounds really complicated at first, but all it is just a set fix criteria of rules that basically means you would get into a trade. And a lot of people like Mr. TJR, he'll say we have an edge because we know all these confluences, but that's complete and utter bullshit. Like, no matter how many confluences you learn, you're not going to have an edge. How you get your edge is with data. And the strategy I'm going to be teaching you within this course has 40 years of back-tested data. And yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer on like simplicity. Because like, look, I'm not going to tell you to go back-test 40 years of data. I'm going to go through everything in the video series, sorry. We're going to literally go through the whole shit, and there's going to be no fucking about. There's going to be no fluff, none of that. So first things first, assets. Well, what on earth are assets? So you might have heard people trading Euro US dollar, or US dollar, NASDAQ. What on earth are these? All these assets is different things you can trade, yeah? Different things you can bet on, yeah? So you go into the casino, yeah, and there's fucking roulette tables, there's poker tables, there's just loads of different tables, and like each table, the same strategy, in this analogy, each table, every strategy can be applied, and you can get data on all these things. So for example, you got the Euro US dollar, or let me make it even more simple, the price of gold, the price of silver, the price of oil, the price of wheat, all of these things that you can buy or sell, so bet on it going up, buy, or sell, bet on it going down, all of these things you can put the strategy, which we're going to be going through, on and test the strategy on these assets, if you will. And because you've got assets, you've got foreign exchange, you've got loads of different types, but look, a lot of people say, oh, I'm a Forex trader, I'm a futures trader. That doesn't mean shit, yeah? It's the exact same thing. All it is an asset. And here we go, look, I'll cover this as well. What is the difference between futures and Forex? You might have heard this a lot. Oh, I'm a Forex trader. Oh, I'm a futures trader. They're the same bloody thing. The only difference is, yeah, is on futures, you bet with contracts, and on Forex, you bet with lots. That's the only difference. So if anyone tells you otherwise, or they tell you, oh, well, no, I don't do that, I'm a futures trader. Oh no, I don't trade Forex. Oh, bro, what the fuck are they talking about? If their strategy works on futures, it more than likely works on Forex as well. But they just haven't tested that data set, yeah? So futures and Forex is the same thing. They're just different exchanges, and you bet with a different unit. So on futures, you'll be betting with a contract, and on Forex, you'll be betting with a lot. So now we're actually going to go into what the chart even is and what it even means, because some people, if you've clicked on this video, you might have absolutely no clue. So like if you're an advanced trader here, you might actually skip ahead, or if say you've watched TJR Bootcamp and you thought it was an absolute load of shit, you might skip ahead. And what it basically is, yeah, is like we're looking on this chart here, you're like, what the fuck is this, yeah? All it is, yeah, every one of these candlesticks, yeah, represents an amount of time. So up here where my mouse is, you can see it says 5 minutes. So every one of these candles represents 5 minutes of time, and the market's actually currently still open. So what I can do is show you this live and direct. So 1 minute chart here, we can see, look, this candle is actually currently forming live in the market on the Australian dollar, on Australian against the US dollar here. And look, you can see, look, the price is moving up, so the candle is moving up. I have my chart colors so that the candles moving up are blue and the candles moving down are black. The reason I do that is because even though with this strategy, you do not need psychology because it's fully mechanical and it's incredibly easy, the psychological thing of red and green is actually proven to be true. So red and green are seen as positive and negative colours. So the human brain and the human eye would associate green with good, going up, yay, and red with bad, going down. So while we're actually watching on this 1 minute chart here, the price form, what I can also draw your attention to make you understand this further is this here, that we got a countdown. So now we're on the 1 minute chart here, so it's counting down every minute, yeah? And the candle is going up and down and up and down, and what it's leaving is these things here, which are called wicks, yeah? That is basically just, if you imagine it as if it's a snail trail, yeah? It just shows where the price has been. So look, we can see, if you were watching that, and if you rewind that, you can see that the price came up here, and then it came back down. So it left our little snail trail, which is called a wick, yeah? And that is essentially how the charts work. I know, I've just explained it in like 2-3 minutes. It's actually really simple. All it is just showing you the price of something. So here, it's showing us the price of the Australian dollar slash the US dollar. That's what it's showing us, yeah? If we go onto another chart now, yeah, we go onto MNQ, which is micro NASDAQ futures. All it is, you've probably heard of the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 100, invest in them things before. All this is showing is the price of the NASDAQ going up and down. And then this is on a 1 minute chart. And I'm only showing you this to show you the candles, yeah? So within the way that I'm going to teach you how to trade and the way that we are going to be trading as a pair here is we only use the 5 minute chart. Way to do that, if you're on a computer, just literally press 5, enter. You're on the 5 minute chart. And then the 15 minute chart in special cases. We won't be using the 15 minute chart all the time. There's a little niche rule that we'll go through later on in the series. And then the 4 hour chart. They're the 3 charts that we'll be using. So get your pen and paper out and write that down. That is essentially all we'll be using. So write that down, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 4 hour. They're the 3 charts we're going to be using. And as you can see here, look, this 4 hour chart, so this candle that's being formed right this second, as we speak, is currently being formed. And in 2 hours, there's going to be a new candle that appears right here. It's going to go up or down, up or down. And this is something that a lot of gurus won't tell you either. We can never, ever predict what's going to happen next. I could not tell you, and if anyone ever tells you this, take your fucking bags and run, yeah? Because there is no way I could predict, yeah, that the price may come down here, and then the price may come up here, yeah? There's no way on earth anyone can predict that, yeah? Because people are at the top manipulating the fucking market. You know what I'm saying? Or there's some other shit goes on. Maybe Trump rips a tweet out saying, oh, fuck around, yeah, boom, the price goes up, or boom, the price goes down. You will never ever be able to predict the market. All you can do is have an edge, yeah, which I'm going to teach you, and then let that edge play out in the market. So another thing that I'm going to preface here is, in trading, you are going to lose, yeah, and that's fine, okay? You are not going to win every single trade, and no matter what you do, you will never win every single trade. Even if you have an amazing strategy, you're always going to lose at some point, yeah? So what this is, what I've just put on the chart, is a visual representation of an order, yeah? So we're going a bit more in depth now. This is how a order works, yeah? So this little thing here is just like a drawing that shows you, like, you've probably seen this on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. And what this is just a visual representation of this area here would be where you'd be in profit. This line right here would be your entry price. And then this whole area here would be the money you're risking. And the way I teach you how to trade is you risk the same amount every time. So no matter how big this area is, yeah, you will always be risking the same amount of bread in that area. And the way I teach you as well, like I said, there's 40 years of data on this strategy across different assets and different models, to be honest. So the full mech model that I'll be teaching you probably doesn't actually have 40 years of data, I'm not going to lie. But all of the models combined, on which are also very similar, they do have 40 years of data minimum, yeah? Because everyone in the community I'm in, we all put together our data and stack up as a team and build up more and more data. So in about 3 years, 4 years, maybe we might have fucking 200 years of data. Who knows? This is just something to think about. The strategy that you're trading has to have data, but don't worry about that, because I'm going to cover everything. You don't even need to get the data. We will do a bit of back testing in this series. That will be to get your reps in, so you can also trust the data. Because yeah, I can say to you, the full mech model is a great model and it has all of this data, but you're going to be a lot more confident once you've got the data yourself and you've seen with your own eyes that it works, yeah? So I feel like I have covered what trading is in this video. And if it was too much to take in, please let me know in the comments, because I'll film a follow-up video. Because the thing is with me is I don't want to leave a stone unturned. I want this to be the best bootcamp on YouTube. So if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments, and one, I'll reply, and two, I will make a follow-up video and I'll address your question in the next bootcamp episode, okay? So that's the Big Nez out for episode 1. That is what trading is. And then in the next episode, we'll be covering what confluences you need to learn and use, and we'll be breaking them down on the chart, and they're actually a lot more simple than you would think. And then what we'll be going through after that is putting all them confluences together, building the strategy, yeah, in 3 videos. You had to get through 20 odd fucking TGR videos, so fuck that guy, we're going to take over the game. And that's the Big Nez. I shall see you all later.